This is Jay So Extra reporting live from downtown St. Louis at the federal courthouse um, in downtown St. Louis. I have just left the courtroom where Tim Norman's trial has just concluded. The jury has come back with a verdict. Again, a reminder that there were 3 counts. Count 1 was conspiracy to commit murder for hire. Count 2 was murder for hire resulting in death. And count 3 was conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud. It has been confirmed by the judge that the jury submitted the verdict in proper form and that everything was in due order. The jury came back with an unanimous decision on all 3 counts. Count 1, conspiracy to commit murder for hire. James Timothy Norman was found guilty by a jury of his peers unanimously. Count 2, murder for hire resulting in death. James Timothy Norman was found guilty unanimously by a jury of his peers. And count 3, conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud. James Timothy Norman was found guilty unanimously by a jury of his peers. I will have more information later today. I will be going live at 6:30 p.m. with more information from the press, hopefully from the family if they make a statement. But again, this is Jay So Extra reporting live with an exclusive for today's celebrity news that a decision has been reached. The jury has reached the verdict in the James Timothy Norman case. And again, he was found guilty on all 3 counts unanimously by a jury of his peers. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Thank you for watching, supporting my channel. Again, I will be going live this evening. I said I'm going to do 7 p.m. They need to give him life, pray, then hustle. The sentencing will be later in December. It's usually 3 months after someone has been convicted. And so we are looking to get the date of that sentencing, and I will make sure I have that date for you later on tonight when I go live. Thank you guys again. What's the verdict, Sherry? The verdict is guilty in all 3 counts. Count 1, conspiracy to commit murder for hire. Count 2, murder for hire resulting in death. And count 3, conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud. I'm going to go head over to where the other press is located because the U.S. State's Attorney, Sailor Fleming, is going to make a statement. So I want to get all of my equipment ready to go for when that happens. Thank you for your coverage. You're welcome, Tanya. I appreciate all the super chats and super stickers, all of your donations, the blessings of the Cash App. My Cash App is $JAYEHODGES. Thank you guys so much. I've taken off 2 weeks of work to cover this trial for you guys. So all of your donations and super chats, I greatly appreciate. You guys have been a blessing to what I'm building, this online platform that brings you guys the news accurately and quickly. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. He is facing life in prison. Who said that? Dominic Willis. Tim is facing life in prison at this time. The death penalty, which was previously proposed, has been taken off the table. So he is not facing the death penalty, but he is facing life in prison. How did he react? He was very, let me see, D. Jackson. Or no, Lauren Raish and D. Jackson. He had a straight face, so the judge did instruct us that we couldn't have any reaction after the verdict was read because we would be excused from the courtroom. I was sitting behind Andre's family, the Griggs family. The mother and sisters did have an emotional response, but not an outburst. They began to cry. As far as Tim's family, they were deeply saddened, and you could tell that they were disappointed with the verdict. Tim and his lawyers kept a very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say straight face, but they kept it professional, and they had a poker face on. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Yes, please hit that like button. Thank you, Jana Randall. Please hit the like button, everyone. That helps the algorithm. Thank you for your hard work and commitment. Thank you, Lil Kim. Appreciate it. How did Ms. Robbie react? She did begin to cry. I did see some people behind her, like, rubbing her shoulders and things like that to console her. And actually, after the verdict was read, Tim's friend JR came in after the verdict. So unfortunately, he couldn't hear it firsthand, and the family members had to tell him that, what the verdict was. I don't have a Zelle, Traveling Tootie. Yes, Melissa Bell, guilty on all counts. Guilty for conspiracy to commit murder for hire, guilty for murder for hire resulting in death, and guilty on conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud. I'm just going to check the super chats to see. Sharon Spiller, thank you so much. Pray Then Hustle, thank you so much for your super chats. And Schoolboy Bad One, School Bad One. Absolutely, Felicia, happy. Thank you guys so much again for your support. We're just waiting to hear from the U.S. State's Attorney. The other news outlets are starting to arrive and get set up and ready to hear what the U.S. State's Attorney has to say. God bless the whole family. Yes, absolutely. God, we pray that God is with both families. They are both, been subject to a tragedy, and both families are hurting right now. So we pray for peace for both families right now. Thank you, Miss Kennedy. I try to deliver, the facts and the truth. C-Note, my Cash App is JAYEHODGES, Jay Hodges. So right now we have KMOX, which is, I believe, channel 4. No, channel 4 is KMOV. Channel 5. Yes, channel 5. Channel 4 and channel 2 and channel 11. So we have Fox, NBC Dateline is here, everyone. So this is M. Nicole. The verdict is guilty on all counts. Count 1, conspiracy to commit murder for hire, guilty. Count 2, murder for hire resulting in death, guilty. Count 3, conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud, guilty. This is very sad. Oh, that's neat. This is a very sad situation. Again, prayers are with both families because they are both experiencing sadness because of this tragedy. Cash App is $JAYEHODGES. That's Jay Hodges. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the super chats and stickers. Thank you for the likes. I got a little surprise for you guys. If you guys can be, I have an exclusive interview with some of your faves here. You guys want to make a statement? You guys want to make a statement to the, okay. Do you want to say it? I'm on live. Okay, hold on. With your favorites, here is Mr. Randomness with Vel. What are your thoughts, Mr. Vel?
Guilty as charged. All 3 counts. God is good. Can't do dirt and get away with it.
Justice has finally been served. Finally.
That's right.
Now, if you guys don't recognize that face, you probably recognize her voice. That is Miss Chronicle Speaks. Make sure that you go to their channels and support them, like their videos, subscribe to their channel. Chronicle Speaks will have a wrap-up video for you guys later on. Randomness of Vel will have a wrap-up video for you guys later on. So please make sure that you check in with their channels, subscribe to their channels, like their videos. We have been working diligently together to get you guys this information accurately and as quickly as possible. So thank you guys all for your support. Hey, Vel and Chronicle, thank you all keeping us abreast. You guys are very much welcome. When I tell you Chronicle Speaks has all of the documents and all of the facts, she had stuff that I didn't have that she was gracious enough to send me. So she is on it. So I can't say that about a lot of people covering this case, but Chronicle Speaks and Randomness of Vel are definitely on the money. They are on point with the accurate information. So please make sure that you follow their channels. Again, that's Chronicle Speaks and Randomness of Vel. Tanya says, hey, Chronicle. She says, hey, back. Keisha Marie, I just want to thank you for following my channel for the past 2 years. You have been such a huge supporter, commenting, liking, and sharing my videos. So thank you so much. You've been a huge blessing to my channel and my platform. So thank you so much again. Thank you for all your hard work. You're welcome. The dream team, Auntie Beautiful. Thank you so much. Y'all did better than actual journalists. I actually studied radio and television, and I worked as a reporter for a newspaper, so I'm kind of a journalist. But I appreciate you guys so much. I lost your channel and just got it back. Well, thank you, Timeless84. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I was worried this was going to drag on. My Kyle Belfer says, so were we. This is Friday. This is day 3 of deliberations, and we were concerned that the jury was going to go the rest of the day and that we would have to reconvene on Monday. So it is It is a sad day for some, but a glorious day for others. We're just happy that this has come to a close and that we can, you know, wrap up this chapter of our reporting and of our lives. We will obviously bring you guys a wrap up and an update of what we have seen these past 3 days. And then we still have the sentencing for everyone who's pled guilty or has been found guilty. So what took them so long? There was a lot, beauty for one. There was over 100 pieces of evidence, and it was like 30,000 pages of information for them to look over, and they wanted to be sure. They were asking questions. They asked to see the evidence again. So it's been really difficult. I have Tim's lawyer here, guys. I'm gonna see if he's willing to make a statement real quick. Let me see, can I flip this camera around? I can. Okay, so here is Tim's lawyer. Let's see if he has a, can y'all hear me okay? Turn this up, okay. Let's see if he has a statement.
Hold on just a second, hold on just a second.
Secondly, Mr. Yango, who was another linchpin of the government's case, he again would have testified unequivocally that he met with Andre Montgomery. He filled out an insurance application with him. So those two witnesses would have obviously had a giant impact on this case. Those are legal issues, whether Fifth Amendment rights could be revoked or not. Those would be part of our post-trial motions and part of our appeal. There was also a number, as would be expected in the case of this length and magnitude, a lot of legal issues in terms of omissions of evidence that we objected to again. Great respect to Judge Ross, but you obviously going to have a difference in opinion about what's relevant. And those, of course, will be subject to our motion process. That's sometimes a difference of opinion between counsel and court. With disrespect to Judge Ross, but it's great one, because obviously there will be legal issues about what was in the
Can you talk about Tim's spirits?
Tim's what?
Tim's spirits.
Tim is an amazingly optimistic and strong guy. So he's been in custody for quite a long time already. He had to sit through the deliberations by himself. And he's a very strong person. And so I think he still, despite the verdict, has a lot of optimism that we're going to overcome this and ultimately prevail.
Christian.
What would you say is your strongest point? I think two things. Tim testified extremely and gave real, credible, consistent account of what happened. I thought, Federal criminal
do you think the popularity of the Sweetie Pie show may have tainted the jurors even before they heard the evidence?
It's difficult to assess. You know what happens with juries is that it's on selection that they're really not very familiar with the show. It's really hard to assess the veracity of that. You know how much are they really exposed to it. I don't know the answer to that. You know in terms of what effect their pre-exposure to the show. Clearly, there was a lot of publicity during the case on all the news programs. They're, of course, instructed not to watch that stuff. I'm assuming they didn't. So I'm hopeful that that was no impact at all.
Thank you. Once again, your name is?
Mike Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
How you doing? Sure. Sure. On this one,
can you tell us about the relationship with the family? I know you were there for some days.
yes, I'm going to do
And I got here. Your name once again, please, is?
Gloria Shields, Snulligan.
And Gloria, just briefly, was this a good outcome today? What do you think?
It wouldn't have been an outcome that I was expecting. I mean, Ms. Rodriguez, we wanted a better outcome, but what we got was guilty.
How long have you known the family?
I've known her since 2000. Known her since 2015, but I just became closer with her.
Did you know Tim long?
No.
Did you know Andre at all? Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? Guys, can you let me know if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up or a yes. Yes, okay, you can hear me. I'm going to interview the other lawyer real quick. Hold on one second. This is Gloria Rodriguez. She was on the legal team. Ms. Rodriguez, are you up for a few questions? I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you up for a few questions? Hi, this is Gloria Rodriguez. She was a part of Tim's legal team. You presented a lot of evidence in the case. What were your feelings about what you presented in the documents and your role on Tim's defense team?
So my role on Tim's defense team was just helping out, overseeing some of the strategic and tactical sides. We're two law firms that kind of came together so that we could really cover all the bases of this defense. With respect to the evidence that was presented, we had a lot more, and the rulings just weren't there to allow us to present those things.
Now, will you be appealing based on the evidence you weren't able to present?
There's a lot of reasons to appeal, and that's certainly one of them.
Okay. Now, are you out of St. Louis or are you out of Chicago?
Out of Chicago.
Okay, wonderful. How did you, if I may, how did you get brought on to the case? Because Tim went through a number of lawyers before we got to you all.
So Tim was a word-of-mouth referral to my office, and I met with him last year. And as we were kind of going through the motions, I felt that we needed to have somebody like Mr. Leonard on board. So I reached out, I think around February, March, and we brought on Mr. Leonard formally. I want to say his appearance was in June. So a lot of this came together. You know, we were the last two attorneys that he had hired.
So I know you have experience as a criminal trial lawyer, not not to insult you, but how many murder trials have you experienced with, or how much experience do you have with murder trials?
So you have to remember, this case wasn't just a murder case.
Very true.
This case had conspiracy, and this case had insurance issues. Any case that has any layer of complexity, it's going to be its own case. So I've been an attorney for 11 years. I've done a variety of complicated issues. The bigger question is, how does the team come together to make, to support their theory of the case? And so we were able to do that, I think, successfully. But again, when you're not allowed to really put on a defense because of some of the rulings, you're going to be handicapped in that way.
Now, what's your opinion of Judge Ross?
He's a fine judge, I think. He's professional. I don't agree with his rulings on some of the issues, but I think everyone there was very professional.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone. All right, everyone. All right. We are still waiting to hear from the U.S. attorneys, Sailor Fleming. We've heard from Tim's lawyer, Michael Leonard. We heard from Tim's co-counsel, Ms. Gloria Rodriguez. We'd heard from a friend of the family. We have seen the Griggs family leave, but obviously they weren't they weren't in the spirits to give an interview. And to be honest, I wouldn't ask at this time. It's just too sensitive of a time period to ask them for a statement or interview at this time. Do you guys have any more questions? Where is Miss Robbie? I believe the Montgomery family has left as well. Again, this is just not the time to ask for comment from them. To be honest, this has been a very sensitive situation, and Chronicle, Bell, and myself have definitely been getting, I don't want to say dirty looks, but it was very prevalent that our presence was not wanted there. And so if I know someone's energy is telling me that they don't want me around, I'm not going to go and be around them. I wouldn't say that Miss Robbie is hiding. I just don't think she's in the spirits to give a statement at this time. Thank you so much, Regan, who said I did an excellent job. I know there's been a lot of questions about Tim's appearance. I can say firsthand that Tim has lost a significant amount of weight from what we remember and how we remember seeing him on television. Also, if you look at his mugshot, his hair is shorter and his weight is down by at least 20 pounds. His cheeks were sunken in. He had on a suit that what I believe was already in his closet, and that suit was, I would say, ill-fitting because it hung on him. It was definitely too big for him, and I believe it's because he lost so much weight. And when you're in federal prison, you can't send out for your suits to be tailored. So he wore what he had at his disposal, and those suits did fit him poorly because of the amount of weight he has lost thus far. Yes, rest in peace, Andre. Hopefully his family feels some peace, and he can be at rest, and they can put this behind them and they can move on. They can heal and they can move on. This has been weighing on them since 2016. We have to remember that Andre was murdered in March of 2016. So for the past 6 years, they've been dealing with who could have done it, why did they do it, and then 4 years after his murder in 2020, his own uncle is arrested in connection with his murder. And then 2 years later, we finally go to trial and have a verdict. So this is 6 years too long. I feel for the family. I feel for all families who've ever been in a situation like this. My family has been in a situation like this where we waited to hear the result of who was going to be convicted of a loved one's and a family member's murder. So I understand. I've been in that position that the Griggs family is in, and I feel for them. And to be perfectly honest and transparent, I've been in Miss Robbie's family's position before, where a member of my family was on trial and risked losing their life to the system for forever. So I've been in the shoes of both families. I understand how detrimental it can be to a family. It breaks up the family. It puts a toll on you emotionally and mentally. I think both families are emotionally exhausted and mentally exhausted. It's just, it's been an ordeal. It is too much for them. So if you guys will stick with me for a few more minutes, we're just gonna wait for the U.S. Attorney, Ms. Fleming, and I'm going to try to put together some sort of rigging that can hold this mic better. So you guys stick with me for just a second, okay? Go ahead and ask your questions. I'll try to answer them as much as I can.
Today, there hasn't been a story every day for the past 2 weeks about this crowd, that's for sure.
Were you in the courtroom?
Yeah, not every day. But when Tim did, that was the big day. I mean, that was honestly whenever he was on the stand. He did not.
Yes, I will be going live. I will be going live for, yes, I will be going live for my recap. I will be going live for my recap. I will also do a pre-recorded that will air on Monday.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you.
Okay, guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Also, the range is like, so you got like, that's the range. So, in federal court, usually, about 6 or 9 months. So,
Yeah, you're in the right place.
oh, no, I'm saying you could get it. So the way it's going to work is so typically you're best at because then they can look at third party, look at the issues and say, versus the trial judge themselves. So, but you still have to procedurally go through the trial judge. Yeah. Well, I mean,
You would know better than I, but yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, you're good. I don't have a team. It's just me.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job. I see you asking all those questions.
Yeah. I used to be a reporter for Belleville News Democrat, so I just kind of remembered what I used to do.
What do you like better, the working for yourself or working for the paper?
Working for myself because we were all about the flash sheet. There were so many rules about what you can't do and what you can't say. And I'm like, that's just
Yeah.
like, no, you can't do
yeah.
Nice, yeah. You're maverick.
You gotta go out on your own, you know, like, yeah, I would rather put my own stuff out there than have CNN contact me or Dateline, like, hey, can I use this? Can we get
Look at something.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is it a good living?
I pay the bills.
Thanks,
Pay the rent, pay the car note, so, I mean, I can go on a cruise every once in a while, so that's the most important thing.
Better than I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to go to Belleville for a Sunday ride. The prosecution.
Oh, no. Oh, I got them before. Thank you so much. All right, this is my good friend here. We've been here every day.
Yes.
Well, you've
I
been
know.
sitting with
I
the
sit in
family?
with the family. Yes, I just sit in supporting Miss Robbie more so than anything. Even though the outcome comes out what it is, and if they tried him on what they saw, and that was one of the most important things. Justice for the young man who got killed. It's an atrocity between both families. Both families are at a loss, and it's just a misfortune. But they're going to retry him again and try to do a reduction on his time that he's got.
So because he has been in jail. He's been
Yes.
held for the past 2 years. So I
Yes.
think that does count for something.
Yes.
They will add time,
Yeah.
subtract
Yes.
time served
Yes.
from his
Yes.
sentencing. But
Yes.
let me ask you, since you've been sitting with the Montgomery family this whole time, talk about the support that Ms. Robbie has been receiving from her family and extended
yes,
family.
Miss Robbie's been receiving a lot of support. She has a lot of family members and friends, and we've all come together to embrace her, just embrace her at the moments of this. And like I said, it's just unfortunate that the outcome was what it was, but they saw through what they needed to see, and that's the unfortunate part. And it's just a misfortune that the young man was having the things that he had to get himself involved in this, and that's the sad part about this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time. Guys, the prosecution is here, so let's turn the cameras over and see what they have to say. Of course.
Good afternoon. I'm U.S. Attorney Sailor Fleming, and I have here with me Assistant United States Attorneys, the prosecutors, Angie Danis and Gwen Carroll. Today, after the presentation of 7 days of evidence, I am very, very pleased to announce that the jury has found James Timothy Norman guilty on all 3 counts charged, and that is conspiracy to commit murder for hire, and conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. In their opening statement and closing arguments, Assistant United States Attorneys Gwen Carroll and Angie Danis told the jury that Mr. Norman's crimes were motivated by greed, and while the evidence was voluminous and overwhelming, Mr. Norman's plan was relatively straightforward. He fraudulently obtained life insurance in the amount of $450,000 on his nephew, Andre Montgomery, without Mr. Montgomery's knowledge. He then used a paramour to locate Mr. Montgomery and a co-defendant to fatally shoot and kill him. Within days of his nephew's murder, Mr. Norman started the process of getting the insurance company to pay the claim. Mr. Norman is currently set for sentencing on December 15th, and at that time he is hoping at a statutory range of up to life in prison. I would like to personally congratulate and thank the entire prosecution team for their very, very hard work in securing this guilty verdict, and especially the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the FBI for their cooperation and their diligence in this investigation. We are not going to be taking questions at this time, and we're not going to make any further comments, but we do look forward to saying more after Mr. Norman and his co-defendants are sentenced. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That was U.S. Attorney Sailor Fleming, U.S. Attorney Gwen Carroll, and U.S. Attorney Angie Danis. I hope you guys have been able to hear. I just lost my bag. I hope you guys have been able to hear all of the interviews that I've been able to gather thus far. Again, somebody was asking who those ladies were. So the 2 ladies who stepped in the back, Gwen Carroll and Angie Danis, they were the ones who actually, I don't know the proper term, but fought the case. So they were the attorneys assigned to the case and presented evidence and interviewed witnesses. The woman who was speaking is the U.S. State's Attorney, so she is like the main attorney for the U.S. State's Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Missouri. Again, I am, girl, you are on it. Thank you, pretty kitty. I am Jay So Extra for today's celebrity news. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like my videos, like this video. Please go ahead and hit the like button for this live. I have created my own online news platform, bringing you guys the news that you care about, that you've been asking questions about. And today I covered the U.S. versus James Timothy Norman for the crimes of count 1, conspiracy to commit murder for hire; count 2, murder for hire resulting in death; and count 3, conspiracy to commit mail or wire fraud. If you are new to this live, James Timothy Norman has been found guilty on all charges unanimously by a jury of his peers. Tim was first arrested back in August of 2020 and indicted on those charges. The victim, Andre Montgomery, is Tim Norman's nephew, and he was killed in March of 2016. And so since March of 2016 up until now, both families have been dealing with this and trying to find justice for Andre. So at the end of the day, we do know who murdered Andre Montgomery, and that is Travell Hill. He has pled guilty to that crime, and his sentencing will take place on September 26th. And I will be back bringing you guys a news report from that sentencing. I will be reporting from Terica's sentencing, which takes place in October 26th, and I also will be reporting from Tim's sentencing, which takes place on December 15th. So thank you guys so much for all of your support thus far. Put the microphone closer. Okay, there it is. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for all of your support thus far. Again, like this video. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the stickers. Thank you for the cash apps. You guys have been an amazing blessing. Did all other participants turn against him and make deals? Terica Ellis pled guilty back in July. She took a deal. Travell Hill pled guilty in June. He took a plea deal. And Wael Yagnam pled guilty in July, and he took a deal. His sentencing is also on October 26th, so we will see what he was actually charged with as far as his deal. Like, you can be charged with conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud, but if you took a deal for, let's say misrepresentation or something like that, then you can plead down the charges. So when I report to you guys on October 26th in regards to Wael, I will let you know what his actual charges are and what his sentencing is. Thank you for keeping us updated. Yes, I'm going to go live at 7 p.m. Central Time. So I'm going to, what time is it right now? It is currently 12:46 p.m. Central Time. I will go live at 7 p.m. Central Time with more. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I will see you in a couple hours. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I get that every time. You're talking.